going to start this now, and I'm going to flip my screen over, share my screen, and we're going to go talk a little bit more about sex in the Broadway musical today. Did you ever know there was so much sex in Broadway musicals? My goodness gracious. In any event, that's what we're going to talk about today and take it up to modern times. Um, and oh my goodness, there's some things that you just don't realize are really out there. Now, of course, when Chicago was made, this was um, Gwen Verdon's push at her separated husband, Bob Fosse. Bob Fosse was living with Anne Reinking at the time. He was cutting the movie Lenny. He was burning the candle at both ends, and Gwen was truly his muse. I mean, the numbers of times that she rescued him, um, in the projects because he got so overwrought with them that he needed her to straighten him out. And yet he was such a hedonist that he had so many girlfriends that his life was one complicated mess. But as they started to do Chicago, he had a coronary, he had bypass surgery. He always thought he was going to die by the time he was 60 years old, and ironically, he did. But Chicago was really, a very sexy play. And when it was created in 1975, it really did not get good reviews. I mean, people didn't understand it. They thought it was cynical. They thought it didn't have a heart. And Gwen Verdon knew this would be her very last Broadway show. She was already in her mid-50s. What else would she be able to do, really? And her dancing skill set was shifting. It wasn't what it was 20 years ago when she did Damn Yankees. And Bob Fosse did not diminish that and threw that up to her continually by changing his concepts. And one of them is, if you know the song where Roxy sits as a mannequin, that was not the way the song was originally conceived, but Gwen just couldn't do it up to the standards that Bob wanted. But when Chicago was new in 1976, Gwen Verdon and Chita Rivera went on every single television show they could to promote Chicago. And this is really the finale of Chicago. And there's something interesting about it. Bob Fosse would not give Gwen Verdon the solo finish. She thought that she deserved a solo finish at the end, and Bob Fosse insisted that it be a duet. Kander and Ebb kept rewriting songs for the finale before they came up with Nowadays and the Hot Honey Rag. And Gwen took it as a personal slight against her with a lot of heated arguments. And Chita Rivera even felt strongly that Gwen was the star, she should get the lead. But I'm going to go back at something. If you'll notice, the way everybody is listed, Gwen Verdon and Chita Rivera share top billing, which also was a bone of contention because Chita Rivera did not feel she was equal to Gwen at that point in time. But Bob Fosse knew what was right for the end of the musical, and this really works, and he knew what he was doing.
For another, it's the name of a sensational musical group that keeps turning out hit records. And for another, it's the name of a smash Broadway musical, still playing to capacity audiences after a year on Broadway. And you're about to see two reasons why they're packing them in at the 46th Street Theater. Here are Chita Rivera and Gwen Verdon. Welcome them, please.
It's good, isn't it grand, isn't it great, isn't it swell, isn't it fun, isn't it nowadays? You can light the life you're living, you can live the life you like, you can even marry Harry, but mess around with Ike, and that's good. Isn't it grand? Isn't it great? Isn't it swell? Isn't it fun? Isn't it? But nothing stays. In 50 years or so, it's gonna change, you know. But oh, it's heaven nowadays. And that's good, isn't it grand? Isn't it great? Isn't it swell? Isn't it fun? Isn't it? But nothing stays in 50 years or so. It's gonna change, you know. But oh, it's heaven nowadays.
Pick up the pace. Let's take the blues away. Let's make the parties longer. Let's make the skirts shorter and shorter. Let's make the music hotter. And let's all go to hell in a fast car and keep it hot.
Glenn Burton, Cheetah Rivera, Al Lindsay. We'll be right back.
Now, that was Gwen and Cheetah in the original Chicago finale. That Hot Honey Rag is a classic. But Chicago was truly all about sex in so many different ways. Let's just look at another example from the great Fosse choreography.
Tonight, we're going to bring you some tantalizing parts from each of the musicals who've been selected as the best of the season. You've already seen the opening from A Chorus Line. And now another nominee, Chicago. Big and brassy, this is a biting and cynical musical version of a 1920s murder trial in Chicago, in the Windy City of Chicago. So, ladies and gentlemen, may I present the silver-tongued prince of the courtroom, the one and only Billy Flynn.
Is everybody here? Is everybody ready?
expensive things, cashmere coats, diamond rings don't mean a thing. All I care about is love. That's what I'm here for. I don't care for wearing silk cravats, ruby studs, satin spats don't mean a thing. All I care about is love. Give me two eyes of blue, softly saying, I need you. Let me see her standing there, and honest mister, I'm a millionaire. I don't care for any fine attire Vanderbilt might admire. No, no, not me. All I care about is love.
All he cares about is love.
Now, maybe you think I'm talking about physical love. Well, I'm not. Not just physical love. There's other kinds of love, like love of justice, love of legal procedure, love of lending a hand to someone who really needs you, love of your fellow man. Those kinds of love are what I'm talking about. And physical love ain't so bad either. It may sound odd, but all I care about is love.
That's what he's here for.
Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-boo-boo-boo. Ba-ba-ba-ba-boo-boo-boo. Honest to God, all I care about is love. Show me long, long raven hair flowing down about to there. When I see her running free, keep your money, that's enough for me. I don't care for driving Packard cars or smoking long box cigars. No, no, not me. All I care about is doing the guy in who's picking on you, twisting the wrist that's turning the screw. All I care about is
That performance show, certainly that was Jerry Orbach. Jerry Orbach, one of the most used leading men in Broadway. But you know, when Chicago was revived, it was 20 years later. It had been a forgotten musical. No one really thought that Chicago really had any legs to it. It was more of a curiosity after the O.J. Simpson trial. And who would have thought that it would be the longest running American musical of all time? Chorus Line, which certainly was a blockbuster, Chicago was eclipsed by it in 1976. And now the irony is, Chicago is the longest running Broadway musical of all time. You're going to see Bebe Neuwirth and Anne Reinking, and so sadly, Anne Reinking died over Christmas of a heart attack. But again, the sex just oozes all over.
And all that jazz. It's just a noisy hall where there's a nightly brawl and all that jazz.
Listen, your husband ain't home, is he?
No, her husband is not at home. Find us last, we're playing fast and loose. And all that jazz. Right up here is where I saw the juice. And all that jazz. Come on, babe, we're gonna brush the sky. I bet you're lucky, they never feel so high. Walk in the stratosphere, the feeling is here. And all that jazz. She's gonna shimmy till her bottom breaks. And all that jazz. That's it, oh, Fred?
Yeah, I'm afraid so, Roxy.
Oh, Fred. Oh, Fred.
Yeah.
Nobody walks out on me.
Sweetheart!
Oh, don't sweetheart me, you son of a bitch.
No! Roxy, no. God. Whoopee!
Oh. Oh. I gotta pee.
And another great clip. Oh, we saw that one already. Oh no, the 1997 Tony Awards. Here we go.
Billy Flynn's the name, Chicago's the game. It's the razzle-dazzle 20s, and I'm a lawyer. But I'm not the only criminal in the show. My prize clients are a pair of devious dames who go by the names of Velma Kelly and Roxy Hart. And, uh-oh, here they come now. So, hey, be careful. Watch your back and, you know, all that jazz.
Come on, babe, why don't we paint the town? And all that jazz, I'm gonna lose my knees and roll my stockings down. And all that jazz, start the car, I know a whoopee spot where the gin is cold, but the piano's hot. It's just a noisy hole where there's a nightly brawl. And all that jazz, you do, and all that jazz, gotcha, and all that jazz. It's just a noisy hall where there's a nightly brawl. And all that.
Well, you know, Chicago had all kinds of character songs. The concept of it was going to be like a musical vaudeville show. And although in the revival that concept was somewhat abandoned, it still created great moments for each one of the characters. And Roxy's husband, you know, had been totally abused. He was misled. He was lied to. He was uh, truly, you know, portrayed as a sap. Everyone sort of ignored his existence. And this is that great song that he gets to sing in the second act after as his act. If someone stood up in a crowd and raised his voice up way up loud and waved his arms and shook his leg, you'd notice him. If someone in the movie show yelled fire in the second row, the whole place is a powder keg, you'd notice him. And even without clucking like a hen, everyone gets noticed now and then. Unless, of course, that personage should be invisible, inconsequential me. Cellophane, Mr. Cellophane, should have been my name, Mr. Cellophane, so you can look right through me, walk right by me, and never know I'm there. I tell you, Cellophane, Mr. Cellophane, should have been my name, Mr. Cellophane, 'cause you can see right through me, walk right by me, and never know I'm there. Now, suppose you was a little cat residing in a person's flat who fed you fish and scratched your ears, you'd notice him. Now, suppose you was a woman wed, residing in a double bed, sleeping next to me for 7 years, you'd notice him. Ah, human beings made of more than air. With all that bulk, you're bound to see him there. Unless that human being next to you is unimpressive, undistinguished, you know who. Should have been my name, Mr. Cellophane, 'cause you can look right through me, walk right by me, and never know I'm there. I tell ya, Cellophane, Mr. Cellophane, should have been my name, Mr. Cellophane, 'cause you can walk right by me, look right through me, and never know I'm there. Never even know I'm there. Mr. Cellophane from Chicago. Well, Nine is the next musical that really was all full of sex and promiscuity. Nine was based on the Fellini movie Eight and a Half, and there's only 2 Fellini movies that have ever been musicalized, Sweet Charity being the other. But Nine, based upon the movie Eight and a Half, about an Italian movie director who's going into a midlife crisis as he turns 40, was musicalized brilliantly. It starred originally Raul Julia. Maury Eston wrote the music. The script was Arthur Kopit, and Tommy Tune took it over out of town. It was absolutely falling apart when Tommy Tune rescued it, recast it as a cast with all women and one man and a small boy. The man, of course, at the time originally was Raul Julia, but this is from the early 2000s revival with Antonio Banderas. This song is called A Call from the Vatican. You'll get the gist.
Pronto? Signor Contini, telephone. Go ahead.
Around my bedroom when an idea occurred to me I thought you might be wondering about. Who's not wearing any clothes? I'm not, my darling. Who's afraid to kiss your toes? I'm not your mama dream is going into your ear, so you're getting loud and clear. I need you to squeeze me here.
Something wrong?
I'm sure. It's all my film. It's from the hospital. Go ahead, Monsignor.
Coochie, coochie, coochie. I've got a plan for what I'm gonna do to you. So hot, you're gonna scream like a scream and vibrate like a scream. Kiss your big little brow, pinch your cheek till you say ow, and I can hardly wait to show you
Now, that, of course, was Jane Krakowski. I think you certainly got the idea there. But there's another great number in 9, and this was from the original Tonys in 1983. Tommy Tune had reimagined it where all of the women in the first act all wore white, that this man was an absolute. He had his wife, he had his girlfriend, he had his first mistress, his second mistress. Everybody in his life was just a woman. And this is his story when he was 11 years old and he meets his first, well, you'll get the idea of this too.
So, you little Italian devils, you want to know about love. Saragina, she will tell you. When you love, do not love like the English. Do not love like the French.
If you want to make a woman happy, you rely on what you were born with, because it is in your blood. Be Italian. Be Italian. Take a chance and try to steal a fatty kiss. Be Italian, you rapscallion. When you hold me, don't just hold me, but hold this. Please be gentle, sentimental. Go ahead and try to give my cheek a pat. But be daring and uncaring. When you pinch me, try to pinch me where there's fat. Be a singer, be a lover. Pick the flower now before the chance is past. Be talented, you rapscallion. Live today as if it may become your life. Bambini, ascoltate, adesso vi insegno la tarantella, la danza più bella del mondo, la danza che respira la passione e l'amore. A posto, bambini, siete pronti? Agenti, via! Do it!
Now, poor CBS really had a problem. Every time they submitted a number to be shown on the Tonys, they had apoplexy because they thought the songs were all too sexy, and they finally settled on this one. Can you imagine? But in any event, there's another, great musical that comes along. That's La Cage aux Folles, which was very risky in 1984 when it came out. The story of two men who operate a drag nightclub in Marseille. And, CBS, the whole world was afraid that it would offend everybody. There had never been a popularly conceived musical where two men were the center of the love story. And the fear that the bridge and tunnel crowd would absolutely hate it really was, we all loved La Cage aux Folles. It was pretty terrific.
We are what we are, and what we are is an illusion. We love how it feels, putting on heels, causing confusion. We face life long, it's sometimes sweet and sometimes bitter. Face life with a little guts and lots of glitter. Under our props, turtles and jumps, proving we are what we are.
Then this.
You have certain mannerisms, albeit charming mannerisms, that could shock people who haven't been forewarned. A2, that could shock people who haven't been forewarned. My mannerisms can translate as tasteful affectation, while yours are no less than suspicious.
No less than suspicious.
Bonjour. Bonjour. Breakfast?
No, I'm not hungry.
I am.
Pig.
Now then, the point is you may attend this affair tonight if you choose, simply by donning the proper attire and appropriately straightening up your act. You shall assume the role of Jean-Michel's dear Uncle Al. Uncle Al? What's wrong with that?
Well, the displacement in stature, for one thing. Even if you had a wife who wasn't a drunk, you wouldn't pass her off as the maid.
But a drunken wife is at least a woman, and in the mind of the masses, a lush is more presentable than a fruit.
Suddenly, you're no fruit? Just because you had a baby one night by accident?
It was no accident.
You told me it was an accident!
It was absolutely no accident. Sybil was the most beautiful showgirl at the Lido.
Sybil's a pig.
I shall ignore that remark. She was the most beautiful showgirl at the Lido, and I, playing a Greek god, was pound for pound her match. The opportunity presented herself, and I said to myself, everyone always talks so much about it, I might as well see what the fuss is all about. And it was a beautiful and moving experience.
As if you could remember, as drunk as you were.
It lasted from midnight till 2:45. Just how drunk could I have been?
Oh, that's right. Just slap me in the face with your infidelities, animal.
Now, Ben, are you coming tonight or not? With Uncle Al? As Uncle Al.
Please. Don't do that. All right, I will come tonight, but only because the boy needs me, whether he knows it or not. Besides, without me there, you're bound to screw it up.
Thank you, my love. Now, to prepare. Slouch.
Slouch?
Well, in 1984, this was all considered pretty shocking.
You can do better than that. Spread them. Spread them! a little girl. Let's begin again. Think of this as masculine toast and masculine butter, ready for spreading by a masculine hand. Pick up that knife and make believe it's a machete. It'll take all your strength and steady nerve for hacking your way through the cherry preserve. Think of John Wayne and John Paul Belmondo. Think of the Legionnaires and Charlemagne's men. And like a Steve O'Toole, you grab your cup, and if God forbid that your pinky pops up, you can climb back up the mountain once again.
All about stereotypes. Meanwhile, Les Mis had its share of sexual content as well. And, in fact, in the high school version that becomes available, it can do it without this song.
I smell women, smell them in the air. Sinkhole drop my anchor in that harbour over there. Lovely ladies, smell them through the smoke. 7 days at sea can make you hungry for a poke. Even stokers need a little stone. Lovely ladies, waiting for the night. Waiting for the customers to ready for the night. Lovely ladies, ready for the call. Standing up or laying down the ready way of war. Bargain prices up against the wall. Come here, my dear, let's see this trinket you wear. This bagatelle, madame, I'll sell it to you. I'll give you 4, that wouldn't pay for the chain. I'll give you 5, you're far too eager to sell. It's up to you, it's all I have, that's not my fault. Please make it 10, no more than 5, my dear, we all stay alive. Lovely ladies waiting in the dark, ready for a thick one or a quick one in the park. Long time, short time, anytime I can. Cost a little extra if you want it to go here. Swing that shape is underneath the pier. What pretty hair, what pretty lock you got there. What luck you've got is worth just 20, my dear. I'll take the light, don't touch me, leave me alone. Let's make a price, I'll give you all of 10 francs. Just think of that, it pays a debt. Just think of that. What can I do? It pays a debt. 10 francs may save my poor Cosette. God, I'm really sick enough to drop. Baby, there's a time with a bleeding never stops. Rough dearie, show a happy face. Plenty more like you do if you can't keep up the pace. Are you joking? Dearie knows a place. Give me the dirties that fit over there. A bit of skirt, she's the one sold red. She's got a pin sensor more than she can. I might have known there is a way somewhere. Lovely lady, come along and join us. Lovely lady. Come on, dearie, why all the fuss? You're no grander than the rest of us. Life has dropped you at the bottom of the heap. Join your sister, make money in your sleep. That's right, dearie, let him have the lot. That's right, dearie, show him what you've got.
hear something new. I think I'll give it a try. Come closer, you. I like to see what I buy. The usual price for just one slice of your pie.
I don't want you. No, no, monsieur, let me go.
Is this a trick? I won't pay more.
No, not at all.
You've got some nerve, you ugly slut. You've got some... Go on! It's the same with the tarts as it is with the grocer. The customer sees what he gets in advance. It's not for the whore to say yes or no, sir. Not for the heart to pick attitudes or to lead me a dance.
I'll kill you, boss. Try any of that. Even a whore who has gone to the bath will be had by a rat.
But Christ, you pay for what you've done. This rat will make you bleed, you see. I guarantee I'll make you suffer for this disturbance of the peace. For this insult to thy bird property.
I beg you don't report me, sir. I'll do whatever you do.
Make your excuse to the police!
Tell me quickly, what's the story? Who saw what and why and where? Let him give a full description. Let him answer to Javert. In this nest of whores and vipers, let one speak who saw it all. Who laid hands on this good man here? What's the substance of this brawl?
Javert, would you believe it? I was crossing from the park when this prostitute attacked me. You can see she left her mark.
She will answer for her actions when you make a full report. You may rest assured, monsieur, that she will answer to the court.
There's a child of Sorely needs me, please, monsieur. She's but that high. Holy God, is there no mercy? If I go to jail, she'll die.
I have heard such protestations every day for 20 years. Let's have no more explanations. Save your breath and save your tears. Honest.
Poor Javert, misguided as usual. And then we come to Miss Saigon. Certainly all of the corruption during the Vietnamese War, when so many military people were there being taken advantage of and taking advantage. Certainly sex was everywhere in this story.
hurt me, I'll just close my eyes and silent nights they mostly know. The movie in my mind, like Melita, like gold. The dream that fills my head, and I can't keep that home. A man who will not fail every night again it's told. Who'll fight for me instead. He'll keep the fear at bay, so no one comes at night to blow the dream away. The dream I had to
So haunting. And then, of course, Aspects of Love, which was Andrew Lloyd Webber. Everybody accused him of not being able to write for small. It was a real shallow soap opera of a musical, and it lost $8 million. It ran in London for years. I wasn't quite sure why. But in any event, here's just a clip of that.
We now have come to this year's fourth and final nominated musical. Love has more aspects than can be seen by the naked eye. But take a look through another one of Andrew Lloyd Webber's magic spectacles, and you'll see them all the incredible aspects of love.
Love changes everything, hands and faces, earth and sky. Love changes everything, how you live and how you die. Love can make the summer fly, or a night seem like a lifetime. Yes, love changes everything. Now I tremble at your name. Nothing in the world will ever be the same. Love changes everything. Days are longer, words mean more. Love changes everything. Pain is deeper than before. Love will turn your world around, and that world will last forever. Yes, love changes everything. Brings you glory, brings you shame. Nothing in the world will ever be the same. Love
Well, I had to show it to you, even if it is a bit boring. Now, Passion, the last musical, successful, well, the Stephen Sondheim musical, all about beauty is only skin deep, I guess would be the theme. It's about a very handsome military soldier who's having an affair with a woman, but he's being chased by a woman who is just relentless in her passion for him. It's truly a magnificent piece, very sensitive in its portrayal of what love can really mean. But the opening scene was a nude scene with great passion, and it was funny. Well, my younger son Hal always gives me great comments for things. When we took him to see this, he was about 18. And when we had the Tony nominations and Marin Maisie was nominated for Best Featured Part in a Musical, he turned to me and said, "Yeah, Dad, those are the best featured parts I ever saw in a musical." He gives me great lines.
I'm so happy I'm afraid I'll die here in your arms. What would you do if I died like this right now here in your arms? That we ever should have met is a miracle.
No, inevitable.
Then inevitable, yes, but I confess it was the look.
The look.
The sadness in your eyes that day when we glanced at each other.
We were both unhappy.
Unhappiness can be seductive.
You pitied me.
How
quickly pity leads to
love. All this happiness merely from a glance in the park. So much happiness, so much love.
I thought I knew what love was.
I wish we might have met so much sooner. I could have given you
what love was.
my youth.
I thought I knew how much I could feel.
All the time we lost.
I didn't know what love
I've
was.
never known what love was.
But now,
and now I do. It's what I feel with you. The happiness I feel with you. So much happiness.
So beautiful.
Happening by chance in a park.
By chance, by necessity.
Surely this is happiness.
By the sadness that we saw in each other.
No one else has ever felt before.
Just another love story. That's what they would claim. Another simple love story. Aren't all of them the same?
No, but this is more. We feel more. This is so much more.
Like every other love story.
Some say happiness comes and goes. Then this happiness is a kind of happiness no one really knows.
I thought I knew what love
I'd only
was.
heard what love was.
I thought it was no more than a name for yearning.
I thought it was what kindness became.
I'm learning
I thought where there was love, there was shame.
that with you,
But with you, there's just happiness and less happiness.
Well, she had to place the drape carefully because CBS was watching when it was filmed. Falsettos, of course, the story of a gay man who leaves his wife to go live with his boyfriend, and the complications that set in this complicated family in the era of the AIDS crisis. Really very, very challenging. Victor Victoria, the story, a 1930 movie, a German movie actually, about a man a woman singer who is absolutely unbelievably unable to get hired, dresses as a man to pretend she's a woman, and Julie Andrews' last return to Broadway. The Full Monty, the British story, the British movie about out-of-work coal miners in the north of England who were willing to do anything to make money, translated to the northwest part of New York State, and this is their Tony Award performance where they're going to do the Full Monty.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm afraid I have some bad news. I am not going to be taking my clothes off tonight. But somebody is. They may not be young, they may not be pretty, they may not even be very good, but for tonight, one night only, they're here, they're live, and they're going for no less than the Full Monty.
Oh my God, Radio City Music Hall. My minister's out there.
That's nothing. There's Polly Bergen.
Then I'm not going the Full Monty. I don't mind. I'll go the Full Monty. Who asked you, Godzilla? Sing.
Did I capture your imagination? Did I break you down and make you smile?
It's a serious little situation. Why don't we loosen up and dance a while? You need a loose-lipped lover with a heart of honey.
You need a sex cadet when duty calls.
Come on, show me all your bare-faced new tang.
Go, Dad, all the way! I want to see our shadows bouncing off the walls.
Let it go, loosen up, yeah, let it go. Let it go, it's alright. Let it go, shake it up now, let it go. You just tell me when you think you're ready.
You haven't got the good Flakowski! Yeah, I brought my telescope!
Are you lady? Let it go, loosen up, yeah, let it go. Shake it up now, let it go. You just tell me when you think you're ready.
Show us what you made of!
Let it go, loosen up, yeah, let it go. Let it go, it's alright. Let it go, shake it up now, let it go. The whole world is watching!
This is better than the Bills!
Let it go!
There were times where the computer sync was off and you got a little more vision than you want. Of course, the producers was all about sex, but Young Frankenstein, also written by Mel Brooks, had its moments, and of course we all know what the humor was in that. But this song does really, Sutton Foster, give you an idea.
Our next guests are currently starring in Broadway's newest hit musical. Please welcome Roger Bart, Sutton Foster, and Christopher Fitzgerald from Young Frankenstein. Kids?
the way, how are we getting to the castle?
We Frostbear geschlagen Wagen Suchen Fruchen.
What's that?
A hayride. Roll in the hay. Roll your troubles away. When life is awful, just jump on a throttle and roll in the hay. Roll in the hay. Roll, do it all day. When spirits are sagging, just jump in a wagon and roll in the hay. I'm very high-spirited, Doctor. I hope you won't hold it against me.
Oh, I'll try not to.
Hitch the horses up for a gay ride. We'll have lots of fun. Nothing better than a hayride underneath the sun. Roll in the hay. Sometimes love finds a way. You might feel a kiss from an unlifting miss who's not too resistant to play. So let's roll in the hay. So, have you thought of any ways you could use me?
2, and I'm working on the 3rd.
Oh, good. Does that mean I'm hired?
Well, a huge part of me is pointing in that direction.
Roll in the hay. Young lady, young lady. Rollin' it, rollin' it. Young lady, young lady. Rollin' it, rollin' it. Come take a hayride and take your breath away. Right, rollin' it, rollin' the hay. Young lady, 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 young lady. Young lady, 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 lady. Young lady, young lady, young lady, young lady, young lady.
What's that?
Werewolves.
Werewolves? What? Why are you talking?
I don't know.
I thought you wanted me to. Well, I don't. Have it your way. I'm easy.
Your lady, oh, dee-dee. Your lady, oh, dee-dee. Your dee-dee. Your dee-dee. Your lady, oh, dee. Your lady, oh, lady. Oh, your lady, oh, lady. Oh, your dee-dee. Oh, in the dee. Your lady, oh, dee-dee. Your lady, oh, dee-dee. Your lady, your lady, your lady, oh, dee. Your lady, 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 your lady.
Well, I'll roll.
Come with me and roll.
Well, there's nothing like Mel Brooks. The Kinky Boots, of course, about the drag queens who needed shoes. But I wanted to get to Hamilton, the Reynolds affair. Now, the clip I'm going to show you, Disney, to make sure that it's not stolen, puts all kinds of effects in the way, and the words are up on the screen. But I want you to see, this was from Hamilton, and oh my, you talk about brilliant content. Here it is.
There's nothing like summer in the city. Someone under stress meets someone looking pretty. There's trouble in the air, you can smell it. And Alexander's by himself. I'll let him tell it.
I hadn't slept in a week, I was weak, I was awake. You've never seen a bastard orphan more in need of a break. Longing for Angelica, missing my wife. That's when Miss Mariah Reynolds walked into my life. She said,
I know you are a man of honor. I'm so sorry to bother you at home, but I don't know where to go. And I came here all alone.
She said,
my husband's doing me wrong, beating me, cheating me, mistreating me. Suddenly he's up and gone. I don't have the means to go on.
So I offered her a loan, I offered to walk her home. She said,
You're too kind, sir.
I gave her $30 that I had socked away. She lived a block away. She said,
This one's mine, sir.
Then I said, well, I should head back home. She turned red, she led me to a bed, let her legs spread and said,
Hey,
hey.
hey.
That's when I began to pray, Lord, show me how to say no to this. I don't know how to say no to this, but my God, she looks so helpless, and her body's saying hell yes. Show me how to say no to this. I don't know how to say no to this. In my mind, I'm trying to go, and her mouth is on mine, and I don't say no. No, say no to this. No. I could say that was the last time I said that last time it became a pastime. A month into this endeavor, I received a letter from a Mr. James Reynolds. Even better, it said,
Dear sir, I hope this letter finds you in good health and in a prosperous enough position to put wealth in the pockets of people like me. Down on they luck. You see, that was my wife who decided to... Uh-oh. You made the wrong sucker a cuckold, so time to pick the piper, pull the pants you unbuckle. And hey, you can keep seeing my whole wife if the price is right. If not, I'm telling your wife.
I hid the letter and I raced to a place, screamed, I'll cut you in the face. She said,
No, sir.
Dressed apologetic, a mess, she looked pathetic, she cried.
Please don't go, sir.
So what's your whole story, you said her?
I don't know about any letter.
Stop crying, goddammit, get it.
I didn't know any better. Please don't leave me helpless. Just give him what he wants and you can have me. Whatever he wants, if you pay, you can stay.
Situation's helpless. Everybody's screaming hell yes.
Can you sing it over to this?
There is nowhere I can go. When a body's on mine, I do not stay. That's it. Say no to this. I don't say no to this. There is nowhere I can go.
So?
Nobody needs to know.
You know, that section in Hamilton, I remember when I saw Hamilton the first time, in its first preview on Broadway, I was just stunned, when I saw that section. I'm just going to look at the chats real quick and see if there's anything I need to answer. I don't quite, I know someone asked me which Les Mis was it. It was from a 2016 televised concert. Anyway, I'm going to be this is filmed, and my decision now is I'm sending out the filmed version every afternoon once it's complete, so everybody gets it. You can watch it again if you want to, or you can give it to somebody who missed it as a sample. So I hope you all enjoyed what was there today. Does anybody have any questions for me or anything you'd like to know that I didn't talk about? Yeah, go ahead, Barbara. Let me see if I can get everybody unmuted. Go ahead and unmute yourself if you want to ask a question, Barbara. I think you can. So did anybody want to ask anything? I don't see anything coming up. Oh, go ahead, Joni. Go ahead. You should be able to unmute yourself. If not, let me find you. Go ahead, Joni. I'm trying to find Joni to unmute her. Hold on one second.
Okay, am I on?
Yeah, you're on.
Okay, so we ran up to New York to see Liza Minnelli and Victor Victoria when Julie Andrews had to leave the cast. And I have to tell you, Liza Minnelli was the biggest disappointment. She had the words in her hand and she still didn't get them right. She was reading from the script. She stumbled all over herself. And to think that we had, you know, just ran up there to see her. Very sad.
Well, I'll tell you another story like that. We went to see, when the Little Night Music was revived with Catherine Zeta-Jones and Angela Lansbury, went to see that. When it was recast with Bernadette Peters and Elaine Stritch, we went to see that. And Elaine Stritch couldn't remember her words either, and she would call off stage, "Mary Q, Mary Q," and it was like, so every time she walked on stage, you were scared to death. You know, what was she going to do? Yeah, Liza Minnelli's having her 75th birthday. She's not doing a performance. People are going to perform for her. Her skill set is just not what it used to be, sadly. You know, look, she got older and she didn't get better. That's all. But anyway, I hope you all enjoyed. I don't know if anybody wants to ask anything else, but I will send out the link shortly for next week. And as soon as the video is ready, I'll get that out to you all as well. Take care, everybody. I'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks, Steve.